Hi, this is Gary, and I thought I'd make a short video about some of the fears and anxieties that people come to see me about, where I think that stuff comes from, and what we can do about it. I would say that most of these fears and anxieties are based on some very basic responses that go back to the very beginning of this human society. Either a threat to your physical well being, a threat to your status within your tribe, or a threat of abandonment. Take a look at each one of these. A threat to your physical well being. That's pretty obvious, right? You're going to feel fear to that. I mean, if a train is coming down the track and you're standing on the tracks, you should be afraid of the train. That's a good thing, right? That's going to protect you. All right, the second thing, your status within your tribe. In primitive times, that would be a big deal because it might mean that you'd have less choice in terms of the food, in terms of where you get to place your shelter, in terms of choosing a mate. If you're of lower status, you might be subject to being bullied or lose some of your autonomy. So that makes sense as well. And a third very, very primitive response would be to the threat of abandonment, and especially if this is by a parent. And that's obvious, right? I mean, if you were living, thousands of years ago, and you were abandoned you by yourself, it's very hard to survive without the support and protection of the tribe. So these three things, really, then there's probably more, but these three are big ones. So when a person is experiencing panic attacks, anxiety, this kind of thing, this seems to be irrational, it's not really. It's just that something has been associated with one of these basic threats. And this thing that's in their life, in present day, could be a real, tangible thing, that's actually happening. In other words, you could have gotten mugged, or you could have been in a car accident, or you could have been on a plane and there was a problem, and you associated that thing with a fear, which totally makes sense. Or it could also be even imaginary, just a thought in your mind that is associated with that. And where does the thought come from? It could come from anywhere. A random comment, an ad, something you see on TV, anything like this. Regardless, whether it's tangible and in the external environment or it's just imaginary, your mind will treat it as if it's real. Most of the time, this is not a problem. Like I said, fear and anxiety is a good thing. It's a skill. It's a hardwired thing that protects us. But sometimes it gets out of balance, and we become afraid of things where there's no need. And why does that happen? It happens because the brain is an incredible thing that can learn quickly, and if it has to, it will learn in an instant that something is a threat. And then from then on, anything that fits that pattern will tend to trigger your survival mechanism. Some people call this a fight, flight, freeze. But basically, you're going to become more alert. You're going to get ready for action. Adrenaline's going to flow through your blood. Your body is going to withdraw energy from areas that are not needed, like digestion, sexual function, things like that, and get ready to deal with whatever threat is there. Sometimes the brain is just overactive. It becomes overly protective or protective of the wrong thing. It makes mistakes like we all were. Hey, we're human. It just happens. Now, a lot of people will just deal with this. They'll live with it. I'm afraid of snakes, or I'm afraid of dogs, afraid of dog. I mean, it makes sense if it's a pit bull that's attacking you, but not your friend's chihuahua, right? I mean, So, but some people will put up with this and live like that and live a very limited life, because it does tend to get worse and worse if you don't do something about it. Some people will find themselves in a situation where their life has become quite limited, where they can't even get on a plane, or where they can't be around a dog, or can't even go out of their house. It limits your life. Well, the good news is you don't have to put up with that. There are many things that we can do about that. There's many techniques, and hypnotherapy is a very, very effective tool for dealing with this. Contact me, book a free evaluation, and we'll talk and see if hypnotherapy is something that is a good fit for you. The reason hypnotherapy can be so effective with dealing with this kind of stuff, as opposed to traditional talk therapy, which I also think is very valuable, is that hypnotherapy directly deals with involuntary behaviors, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a reaction that you have that happens before you think about it. It's instinctual. And so that's very hard to reason your way out of that. It's happening on a different level. And in hypnotherapy, that's the level that we're operating at. Now, that's a short explanation. If you'd like more, book a free evaluation, give me a call. We'll see if hypnotherapy is a good fit for you, or maybe I can help you in some other way. I'm happy to do that. All right. Till next time, this is Gary, signing off now.